This story is a perfect little crystallization of the madness of Western media right now and why they have completely lost the public's trust. Here you have CNN apologizing because somebody on their network accidentally said something that conformed with reality. I mean, here we have the headline. CNN apologizes for referring to Dylan Mulvaney by his biological pronouns. And I guess they had to apologize right away because if you let this slip, their viewers might start demanding that they say other things that are true. And that is not CNN's business model. Well, let's take a look at the offending segment here. And I guess I have to offer a trigger warning. This segment contains reality.
Yeah, America is really split on a lot of topics, whether it comes to voting, but this Bud Light really seems to send a chasm right down the middle in terms of talking to folks. We went to Nashville. We even talked to a bar in Chicago. One bar was telling us basically they're not going to serve it because they don't like the way Dylan Mulvaney was treated after this whole controversy started. He, of course, is the transgender person they were going to sponsor and go along with Bud Light. They didn't like how Bud Light didn't stand by him after all this. Didn't stand by him after all this.
He and him. Well, you're not supposed to do that on CNN. I guess unless the person you're referring to has a vagina. Yeah, so this is the world we live in now. They have to apologize for saying that. And here's an example of what would cause them to apologize. Here's a comment. Unbelievably bad CNN segment. Fails to interrogate where the Bud Light boycott came from. I'm going to guess she thinks moon Nazis. Launders perspectives of people who think their grandchildren will be harmed by the knowledge that trans people exist. Yeah, this is just completely made up. What people don't like is having gender ideology pushed down their throats, and especially their children's throats, because it's confusing to them. And they're witnessing what is obviously a social contagion, which is going to leave a lot of human wreckage in its wake. And that doesn't mean that adults can't do what they want with their bodies, but just obviously a child can't consent to puberty blockers or cross-sex hormones or double mastectomies or chemical castration. Obviously a child can't consent to these things. All sane people know that. Let's see. Misgenders Dylan Mulvaney. Well, another way of putting it is that he just gendered Dylan Mulvaney, and he did so correctly. And if people want to pretend that Dylan Mulvaney's a woman, who cares? Fine, go ahead and pretend. But it is a different matter when mainstream news outlets want you to play pretend time with them. Almost makes you wonder if anything they tell you is true. And it ends with this segment could have run on Fox News. Well, that probably got CNN excited for a second. They'd love to have Fox News' ratings. But obviously, it's not the sort of thing that CNN's audience is used to hearing. And, they don't want to lose, like 50% of their audience, which that could be as many as, 100 people. So cue the apology.
Before we wrap up today, we do want to make an important note. Yesterday, in a segment about transgender influencer Dylan Mulvaney, who was featured in Bud Light's recent campaign, she was mistakenly referred to by the wrong pronoun. And CNN aims to honor individuals' ways of identifying themselves, and we apologize for that error.
So there you go. Finally, they got woke right, but reality wrong. And I guess if you identify as a gender-fluid Napoleon, CNN's going to have your back. Mulvaney called out those who use his biological pronouns last October, saying in a TikTok that it should be illegal for journalists to use he, him when referring to the trans activist. So illegal to speak the truth sounds awfully fascisty to me. So what this means is that it should be illegal to speak the truth. And of course, this is fully in line with modern leftism and, CNN itself. Quote, or even worse in my opinion, are like the articles written about me using he pronouns and calling me a man over and over again. I feel like that should be illegal. I don't know. That's just bad journalism. And when I see stuff like this, I start to wonder how much of it really is an act with Dylan Mulvaney. Because it seems like an obvious over-the-top caricature of femininity, a mocking of femininity. In short, it feels like an act. And whether it's intentional or not, this person is absolutely exposing the absurdities of modern culture and media. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. Please subscribe, like, and share. Sharing really helps me out. I thank you for doing that. I will see you next time.